My name is Pius Muzingu. I was born in a tiny East African country of Uganda. Uganda is the size of Oregon here in the United States, but has a lot of people. We have 36 million people in Uganda, and half of that population is under the age of 15. So you can see that there is a need for the gospel. Unlike most of my African brothers who are here in seminary, when I came to America, I was not a believer. But in 2006, one of the gentlemen, a member of Grace Community Church by the name of Byron DeChellas, led me to Christ. I was working as a security guard, so I came to his building and God used him to bring me to salvation. By the summer of 2008, I was baptized here at Grace Community Church, and that year Grace Church had a missionary in Uganda by the name of Shannon Hurley, so they had a team going to Uganda, and I was encouraged to go to that trip in Uganda. When I reached Uganda, I realized how bad it was in my country. More than anybody who was on that trip, I was more saddened what I saw in my home country. My countrymen were not only dead or dying physically, they were dead spiritually. Now I was a security guard, probably I would have done something to help, but I could not do that. I was broke myself. And then the most disturbing part of that, I could not articulate the gospel to maybe help spiritually. I couldn't do that. So that provoked me to say, how can I be useful to the kingdom? I can't provide financial help to them, and now I can't even articulate the gospel. What can I do? When I came back to America, I started to follow a team which used to do street evangelism every Saturday. And it was through that evangelistic opportunities I had that I realized that the men in America who are well grounded in truth, they could also respond to scripture the same way like my African village mate respond to truth. So I realized that it's God who saves men. And that gave me an opportunity to say, okay, if they respond this way, can a man really know God without God's grace? It was very impossible. So I started to ask one of my Bible study leader, his name is Bo Nelson, that what can I do to know truth and how to communicate this truth? So Bo advised me that I should try to apply to seminary here. So by 2010, I applied and I was admitted. And when I came here, I was paying for seminary myself. So I realized very quickly that this is going to be very impossible with my security job. And by the second semester, I was ready to drop out because I couldn't do it. But by God's grace, I had a Dr. Business in the D-Lab. So I told him that this is going to be my last semester because I can't afford to pay for seminary. He said he will help me. He will find some ways how to help me. And by God's grace, he found one of the family, the Martin family, and many other friends of TMS, most of whom I don't even know, who have paid my way through seminary, including my two friends, Byron DeChellas and Honicho, who have been so instrumental in helping me to come to finish the seminary. As I mentioned, Uganda has the youngest population in the world. So there is great need for gospel witness. With rural-urban immigration in Africa, we have the opportunity to reach out to them in the gospel. Unemployment in Uganda is almost 83%, and with such a young population, you need to give them hope. So my goal is to go back to Uganda and start a church whereby we can teach truth and ground these young men. If I can leave America to go back to Africa, I believe if we teach these men very well, they will also do the same and leave the village, the capital city, and go back to the villages. So I believe with a good church and sound biblical teaching, we shall have a very good church there. And my appeal to you, men, I believe most of you would like to come to Africa, but you don't even know where to go. My goal is to establish a church there so that you who would like to come to Africa can have a place where you can come. And the men who are coming to Africa, they don't have sound theology. So you are the men, you are the future. Together we can change Africa and the world at large. I trust that many of you, especially I try to talk to a lot of people like, so how can we help? Right now, I'm trying to start with a tent. So if you have a tent, you can bring it, and so that we can work together. Most of you are worried that how can I help in Africa because of English, but I want to encourage you. Uganda, the national language there is English. So even as you come to Uganda, you will not have any problem. Uganda is one of the good countries with education. Actually, we have 4 presidents in the region. They all come to Uganda for education. So you'll be good. But as I said, the world is coming to you in America. And I'm one of those people. But the question I have for you, are you reaching out to the world? If you need to be encouraged, I'm standing before you this morning because one of you in America reached out to me and he preached the gospel to me. So I'm the living example of that. My encouragement to you, reach out to the world because God is still saving people and I'm the living testimony of that truth. Thank you.